Hello, welcome. If you are writing GCE this year and you are a science student, you are at the right place. I'm going to share some chemistry practical questions. You know that you are not going to run the practical, you are going to do alternative to practical. This year is going to be very different because you are writing computer-based tests. So you would like to listen and see the nature of the questions that will show in the exams. I have done a video on volumetric analysis, that's acid-base titration, and you can check it on this channel also to go through it. What I'm going to teach you now is on qualitative analysis. And whether you like it or not, one or two or three or four or five of the questions I'm going to talk about here are going to show. Why? Because they would ask you how to detect anions or cations. And these ions, they will ask you to find out, or the gases, they are few. So they are not too many that you will say, they will pick from other areas. So pay attention as we go through this together. Thank you. So, okay, the first question here says, a gas that turns moist red litmus paper blue is likely to be ammonia. Any gas that turns moist red litmus paper to blue is likely to be ammonia. Remember, we are talking about gas here. Now, if you remember our litmus paper test, acid turns blue litmus paper to red, while base turn red litmus paper to blue. Ammonia is basic, it's alkaline in nature, so it has the ability to turn the damp red or moist red litmus paper to blue. I hope this is clear. So this is the test for gas, for ammonia gas, qualitative test for ammonia gas based on the acid aspect. Let's go. Next question says, when hydrogen sulfide gas is passed into a solution containing lead 2 ions, a black precipitate is formed. The black precipitate is, now this is very simple to detect the correct question, the correct answer rather. Look at your question. We have hydrogen sulfide and is passed through lead ions. What is the product? What do we expect? So you should expect us to have lead 2 sulfide because we have hydrogen sulfide and lead ions. So lead 2 sulfide will be produced, and likely hydrogen gas would be emitted. So I hope this is clear. So lead 2 sulfide is formed and it is in form of black precipitate. Third question says, a colorless gas turns lime water milky. The gas is lime water milky. Lime water milky. So the correct answer is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide reacts with calcium hydroxide to form insoluble calcium carbonate. That's the white precipitate that is formed. Please, this question is a very common question. Very common. Repeated again and again over the years. I've observed this. Please, please, please. It can come in any form. I have seen in a situation where they ask this question, they say a rat was placed in a container and where oxygen is not allowed in over time, and it was connected through tube to a glass containing a colorless calcium hydroxide. They now said as time passes by, as the rat breathes, the lime water turns to milky. What is the cause? Which gas is likely to cause? So in any way it can come. So prepare yourself. You may see this question as it is like this. So anytime we're talking about lime water milky, we are talking about carbon dioxide. Let's go. The next question says, a solution gives white precipitate with barium chloride that is insoluble in dilute HCl. The anion present is sulfate ion. So sulfate ion forms a white precipitate with barium chloride and is insoluble in H2SO4. So I hope this is clear. We go to the next question. Next question says, which of the following gases has a choking smell and turns acidified potassium dichromate paper green? acidified potassium dichromate green? The correct answer is sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide has choking smell and it turns acidified potassium dichromate paper to green. Sulfur dioxide, it reduces the dichromate to chromium 3, turning it to green. So I hope this is also clear. So this is test for sulfur dioxide. Next is a gas that gives dense white fumes with concentrated HCl is. I remember answering this question in WAEC during my time, and I've also observed that it's very popular qualitative analysis question in WAEC precisely. Please, I beg you know this. This is a test for ammonia. It gives dense white fumes with concentrated hydrochloric acid. So I hope this is very, very clear. So we go to the next question that says, a green solution gives a red-brown precipitate with sodium. When sodium hydroxide is added and oxidized on standing, the ion present is. So this green solution is usually ion 2. So when we talk about green solution ion 2, and we have ion 3 is reddish brown. So ion 2 can oxidize to ion 3 So in the presence of sodium hydroxide. So the correct answer is ion 2. It forms ion 2 hydroxide, which oxidizes to ion 3, giving a reddish brown color. Please, this is very simple. Always know when we talk about green precipitate, we are talking about ion 2. When we are talking about reddish brown precipitate, we are talking about ion 3. So let's go. The next one is, which ion gives a deep blue solution when excess ammonia is added? The correct answer is copper. Copper is also associated with blue color formation. Even copper 2 sulfate, for example, if they bring, is white in color, but once you dissolve it in water, it turns to blue. So copper is associated with blue color. Ion 2, green. Ion 3, reddish brown. I hope you are remembering all this. So please, I would like you to master all this because they are going to be very, very important and you should expect them, if not all, because these are the positive ions they will ask you about. So, and these are the ways to confirm their presence. Let's go. The next question says, which reagent can be used to identify chloride ions in a solution? If you want to identify chloride ions in a solution, so which of these do you use? The correct answer is silver nitrate. It gives white precipitate. With chloride ions. So that silver chloride is formed. It's a displacement reaction. I hope you get this too. So let's go. We have 15 questions in total. Okay, we are in question 9 now. Oh, I am fast. Okay, question 9. It says, which reagent can be used to identify chloride ions? Okay, we've just answered this question 9. Let's go to question 10. A gas that decolorizes acidified potassium permanganate is. Sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide reduces manganese ion to 2, from 1 to 2, causing decolorization. So it is sulfur dioxide that decolorizes acidified potassium permanganate into colorless. Question 11 says, a gas that lights a glowing splint is. Of course, oxygen. Oxygen is known to support combustion. So even when you are blowing your fire, what are you trying to add? Oxygen. So oxygen supports combustion. So it's the one that relights a glowing splint. That's the test, qualitative test for so for oxygen. Next question says, which ion gives white precipitates with sodium hydroxide and dissolve in excess sodium hydroxide? An ion that gives white precipitate with sodium hydroxide and in excess sodium hydroxide, it dissolves. The correct answer is aluminium 3 ion. So it reacts with sodium hydroxide to form aluminium hydroxide, and in the presence of excess sodium hydroxide, it dissolves. It becomes soluble. So please note this: aluminium ion in the presence of sodium hydroxide, it forms white precipitate. If the sodium hydroxide is excess, it will dissolve to become colorless. Okay, question 13 says, which gas has a bleaching effect and turns moist starch iodide paper blue? Oh, this is interesting. Bleaching effect and turns moist starch iodide paper blue. The correct answer is chlorine. Chlorine is a bleaching agent. We already know this in chemistry. So once we even talk about bleaching agents, and you cannot pass chlorine. So from that alone, we are able to know that chlorine is the correct answer, because it's a bleaching agent and it turns moist starch iodide paper to blue. Okay, so let's go. 15. A gas that extinguishes a lighted splint and turns lime water milky is... You see another question again. This is carbon dioxide, of course. We talked about it earlier, turning lime water milky. So it also extinguishes fire. Some of our fire extinguishers, they are filled with carbon dioxide gas. So it forms calcium carbonate in lime water, making it turn it milky. Okay, so let's go to the last question for this class. The last question says, which cation produces brick red flame in a flame test? When you do flame test, it produces brick red flame. The correct answer is calcium. Calcium test, if you want to test for calcium using flame, you observe that its color is brick red. The flame will be brick red in color. So this is the last question for this class. Please, I said I've done another video on volumetric analysis. Go and check it. Go and check it. Very important. I'm trying to bring questions that you are most likely to see, because since you are going to do computer-based, it is going to be very, very different from other years. Unlike if you are doing paper and pencil, where you may have inference, where you have the test, where you can make confirmation of the test, where you have the procedure, and some spaces will now be given to you. It may not be like that this year. So thank you once again for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this video to some of your friends that are also writing. These days, I'm going to be creating a lot of videos to help you, not only in practical aspect, but also in the other aspects of the chemistry, physics, and biology. Thank you for staying with me. Once again, my name is Emmanuel John. I wrote GCE twice. The second one, I passed excellently well. I have understood the pattern of their questions, so that's why I created this video when some persons reached out to me. If you have watched this video to this point, I salute you. You know why? Most students doesn't have the stamina to study these days. They will just watch 2 minutes, they scroll to another video. So if you have watched it to this point, I would like to know you. I would like to appreciate you. So just drop in the comment section, I have watched to the end. Let me know those who have watched this video to the end. Thank you. We meet in the next video. Remember, if you have not watched, go and watch the one I made previously. Don't forget to drop your comment. What did I say you should write again? I have watched this video to the end. I'm going to respond to your comment, and I will really appreciate you very well, because you are among those students who are able to keep themselves consistently and committed to learning. If you cannot stay, sit, gather yourself, be patient to learn, you won't be able to get a reasonable mark. Thank you once again. Right, I have watched till the end. Bye.